You might think moths and caterpillars are harmless little creatures that flutter by or crawl on leaves. But what if I told you some of them can blind you, make you bleed internally, or cause entire towns to itch for days? In South America, a single touch from a fuzzy green caterpillar has taken lives. In Europe, schools close because of tiny moths raining toxic hairs from trees. And in Venezuela, a whole city once suffered painful rashes just because of one moth species. Some are so deadly that doctors had to invent special anti-venoms just to keep people alive. Stay with us till the end, because the last one on this list, truly deadly. Let's dive in. 18. Cup moth caterpillar. This one looks cute on a leaf until you touch it. The cup moth caterpillar carries rows of tiny hypodermic spines under its soft fringe. Brush past it, and those spines snap off and inject venom, like dozens of bee stings at once. The pain is sharp, then throbbing. The skin turns red and raised in neat little lines where you made contact. It's an Australian regular on garden shrubs and eucalypts, so most stings happen to people pruning or kids exploring the yard. The fix is simple and fast. Press adhesive tape to the area and peel to remove spines. Wash with soap and water, then use ice and an antihistamine. Seek help if there's face or eye contact or any trouble breathing. One small caterpillar can ruin your afternoon, but knowing the look, flat body, bright patches, tidy ranks of stingers, lets you step back, film your B-roll, and keep your fingers safe. 17. Monkey slug caterpillar. Meet the strangest caterpillar you'll ever see, the monkey slug. At first glance, it looks like a hairy little spider stuck on a leaf. But those fuzzy arms are actually venom-covered tentacles. Touch it once, and you'll instantly feel like your skin is on fire. This creature lives in North and Central America, hiding on oak, hickory, and apple trees. Farmers say brushing against one feels like getting burned by acid. The pain can last hours, and some people even develop swelling or red streaks up their arm. Its bizarre shape helps it blend in, tricking people and animals into touching it by mistake. What makes it even creepier is its movement, slow, twitchy, and spider-like. Viewers might laugh at its funny looks, but this hairy pancake is one of nature's hidden landmines. The next time you see something fuzzy on a tree, don't pet it. It might just be waiting to sting. 16. Giant silkworm caterpillar. Hidden in Brazil's lush rainforests lives the Linomia obliqua, known as the world's deadliest caterpillar. Its lime green body looks harmless, but the tiny spines on its back contain venom that can turn your blood to water. The toxin destroys the body's ability to clot, leading to unstoppable internal bleeding and, in many cases, death. Since the 1980s, dozens of fatalities have been recorded, mostly in southern Brazil, where people accidentally brushed against it while collecting firewood. Victims often don't realize they've been stung until bruises appear, and bleeding starts hours later. Doctors say a single caterpillar can carry enough venom to kill a grown man. Brazil's Butantan Institute developed a life-saving antivenom. But timing is everything. Treatment must begin within hours. Despite its deadly reputation, scientists now study its venom to create blood-thinning medicines for heart disease. Still, locals have one simple rule. If you see a soft green caterpillar on a tree trunk, don't touch it. Run. 15. Puss caterpillar. This creature looks like a tiny ball of soft fur, the kind of thing you'd want to pet. But that cute fur hides venomous spines that can bring grown adults to their knees. The puss caterpillar, found in the southern United States and parts of Mexico, delivers one of the most excruciating stings in the insect world. Victims describe the pain as if their bones were on fire, spreading through the arm or leg within minutes. Some experience chest pain, vomiting, and even temporary paralysis. Its sting has sent dozens to hospitals, and schools in Texas have even closed playgrounds during outbreaks. One of the most talked about incidents occurred in Virginia in 2020, when a woman was hospitalized after gardening. Her arm swelled within minutes of contact. The worst part is its disguise. It looks harmless, like a bit of fuzzy leaf or lint. When brushed accidentally, the hidden spines inject venom instantly. Paramedics advise using tape to pull out the spines and ice to control swelling. 14. Yellowtail moth. This one looks harmless, white and fluffy, like a flying piece of cotton. But don't be fooled. The yellowtail moth is a tiny troublemaker that can ruin your summer. Found all over Europe and Asia, its silky hairs are loaded with toxins. When they shed into the air or stick to clothing, they cause itchy red rashes that can last for weeks. Forest workers often complain that the irritation starts even before they notice the insects. The reason? The hairs stay active long after the moth is gone. Old nests, clothes, or curtains that touch them still cause reactions months later. In parts of Germany and the UK, cleaning crews use vacuum units and protective suits to remove infested cocoons from trees. It's amazing how something so soft can act like invisible fiberglass. So next time you see a cute white moth glowing under a streetlight, admire it from a distance. If you liked this video so far, leave a like, and you can also check out Never Touch These Deadly Animals on our channel, Forevergreen. 13. Spiny oak slug caterpillar. Now, meet one of the prettiest but most painful caterpillars in North America. The spiny oak slug. Its lime green body with bright orange lines makes it look like a tiny piece of candy. But touching it feels nothing like sugar. Under those colors hide rows of venomous spines that sting the moment your skin brushes them. Gardeners describe the pain as an electric shock that turns into a steady burn. The rash often stays for hours, leaving tiny red dots where the spines pierced. It loves oak and apple trees, so kids playing outside sometimes get caught by surprise. Scientists believe its venom evolved to protect it from hungry birds, and it works perfectly. Most predators never try twice. So, if you spot a shiny green slug crawling on a leaf, resist the urge to touch it. It's one of nature's smallest yet most effective warning signs. 12. Australian processionary moth. Picture a warm evening in suburban Australia. Streetlights glow, kids ride bikes, and tiny invisible hairs drift through the air. That's when Leptocnaria reducta turns up. During outbreaks, thousands of caterpillars and adults shed barbed hairs that float like dust. They land on skin and clothes and can trigger red rashes, sore eyes, and coughing. Local councils have warned families to keep windows shut on windy nights. Some schools even close playgrounds when nests appear in nearby trees. The problem is the hairs don't die quickly. They stick to fences, laundry, prams, even pet fur. Doctors usually suggest the tape trick, press and lift, a cool shower, ice, and an antihistamine. If breathing gets tight, it's straight to the clinic. Small moth, big community headache. Especially after hot, dry springs when numbers surge. 11. Eo moth caterpillar. Bright green with racing stripes, the Eo moth caterpillar looks harmless until you brush against it. Its rows of hollow spines act like tiny needles that inject venom on contact, causing instant burning pain followed by a steady throb. People often see a pattern of small red dots where the spines broke the skin. It's found across much of the United States on oak, elm, willow, hackberry, and garden shrubs. Exactly where hands, arms, and kids' fingers wander. Most stings settle with simple care. Lift spines with tape, wash gently, cool the area, and take an antihistamine. Eyes or mouth exposure need medical help. Adults are harmless and beautiful, with large eye spots on the hind wings that startle birds, but the caterpillar stage is the one to avoid. If you're reaching under leaves, a quick look first can save you hours of sting and swelling. 10. Bag shelter moth. Australia's nose-to-tail procession caterpillars look like a kid's parade until the itching starts. Ochragaster lucifer travels in long, moving lines and packs millions of barbed hairs. Warm wind lifts those hairs from silky nests in casuarina and eucalypt trees. They drift like dust and stick to skin, clothes, and pet fur. People report burning rashes, red eyes, cough, and tight throats after walking beneath infested branches. Breeders link grazing under these trees to pregnancy loss in mares when hares contaminate pasture and are swallowed. Peak trouble arrives in spring and early summer when nests swell and lines cross footpaths. First aid: lift hairs with tape, rinse gently, cool the area, and take an antihistamine. Eyes or breathing problems need care fast. Parks crews plan removals at cooler hours, sealing nests so hairs do not blow through streets. Watch for pale silk bags, frass under branches, and marching chains. Small bodies, big effect. One cluster can send a block to clinic. Every season repeats lesson. See the line and give it space. 9. Blue-striped nettle grub. Setora nitens looks like jungle candy, a lime body with blue stripes and crystal rosettes of spines. Touching it instantly turns color into pain. The spines break off in skin like tiny glass needles and deliver venom that burns, swells, and can bring nausea or fever. This caterpillar hides under leaves of coconut, oil palm, mango, rambutan, and guava across South and Southeast Asia. So pickers meet it mid-harvest when hands slide along mid-ribs. After wet seasons, numbers surge. A single branch may host a squad at fingertip height. Most stings settle with basic care. Press tape to lift spines, wash with soap and water, cool the area, and take an antihistamine. Eyes, mouth, or heavy swelling need attention. Farm crews reduce problems by pruning branches, wearing long sleeves and gloves, and timing treatments for young stages so wasps and flies survive. Urban parks see it too, where children reach for pretty leaf crawlers. The message is, bright bands warn, and a careful step back today saves a sore evening. Before proceeding to our next selection, we invite you to explore our video on 10 amazing caterpillars to moths, butterflies, transformations. Now, back to our list. Brown-tail moth. The brown-tail moth might look like a small white flutter around summer lights, but it's one of the few insects that can make an entire neighborhood itch. Its caterpillars and cocoons are packed with microscopic, barbed hairs, carrying a toxin that irritates human skin and lungs. When trees or fences are covered in old webs, even a light breeze can lift those hairs, drifting them into homes and schools. People describe the rash as hundreds of pinpricks that later blister and burn for days. In coastal New England and across southern Europe, crews wear sealed suits to prune infested hawthorns and oaks, then bag the debris like hazardous waste. Hairs remain active for years, so touching winter nests or sweeping patios months later can still cause outbreaks. Pets are vulnerable too. Licking shed hairs can inflame their mouths. Simple safety: keep windows shut on windy days near infested trees. Wash clothes outdoors separately, and never handle silky webs barehanded. 7. Black Hylesia moth. Every summer in Argentina and Uruguay, people dread the sight of dark brown clouds of Hylesia nigricans fluttering near streetlights. These moths don't bite or sting, but they cause chaos with the invisible weapon they carry: millions of toxic, microscopic hairs. When female moths hatch in large numbers, their fine hairs fill the air and land on people's skin, clothes, and bed sheets. The result? A terrible rash known as lepidopterism. It starts as itching, then swelling, and finally blistering that can last for days. In some towns, hospitals fill with patients each night during heavy infestations. Authorities even turn off streetlights to keep them from gathering in public squares. Scientists discovered the culprit in the 1990s after years of mysterious outbreaks near Buenos Aires. The rash, it turns out, comes not from a bite, but from the dust of their bodies and wings. 6. Saddleback caterpillar. This tiny caterpillar looks like it came from a cartoon. Bright green body, brown saddle patch, and 4 corners lined with spiky horns. But don't be fooled. The saddleback caterpillar delivers one of the most painful stings of all. Each spine acts like a hollow needle filled with venom. The pain starts instantly, spreads through the limb, and leaves swollen red welts that can last for 2 days. Found in the eastern United States, it hides under the leaves of fruit trees and garden plants. Gardeners who reach under leaves without gloves often meet it the hard way. 57-year-old woman stung on thumb while tending a houseplant. Severe pain, 8 out of 10. Confirmed by Poison Center ID. One touch can cause dizziness, headache, and sometimes nausea. Hospitals in the southern states receive several sting cases every summer. Though small, it's bold. Even bright colors warn predators to stay away. Scientists believe its venom evolved to stop birds mid-bite. If you ever see one crawling on a leaf, admire its colors, but don't get too close. 5. Carapito itch moth. In Venezuela's tropical Carapito region, people once thought they were cursed. Every summer, entire neighborhoods broke out in painful rashes without knowing why. The mystery ended when scientists found the culprit, the Hylesia metabus, also known as the Carapito itch moth. When huge swarms gather near lights, their bodies release clouds of tiny barbed hairs that float through the air like invisible dust. Once those hairs touch skin, they pierce it, releasing toxins that cause burning, redness, and blisters that can last a week. Some victims even end up with swollen eyelids and severe allergic reactions. During the 1990s, health officials had to shut down night markets and switch off lights in parts of Venezuela to keep them away. Even today, locals avoid bright lamps during swarming season. These moths may not bite, but their presence alone can paralyze daily life, proving that sometimes the most painful attacks come from what you can't even see. 4. Vampire moth. You've seen moths flutter around your light at night, right? Now imagine one that skips the flowers and goes straight for you. The vampire moth, found in Asia and parts of Eastern Europe, looks like any ordinary moth until it lands on your skin. With its long, needle-like mouth, it pierces through the flesh and drinks blood just like a mosquito. But here's the catch. It doesn't stop after a few drops. It keeps feeding for minutes while you sleep, leaving behind tiny wounds that sting and swell. Scientists first caught them in Siberia and Thailand, and they were shocked when the moths started drinking from human hands during night experiments. Even animals like buffalo and deer aren't safe. While its bite isn't deadly, imagine waking up in the middle of the night to find a moth feasting on you. That's a nightmare you'll never forget. Oak processionary moth. Across Europe, the oak processionary moth is feared almost like a seasonal plague. Every summer, thousands of caterpillars crawl down oak trees in long, neat lines, looking oddly organized, like soldiers on a mission. But behind that calm march lies danger. Each caterpillar carries around 60,000 microscopic poisonous hairs that break off easily and float through the air. When people or pets breathe them in, they cause severe allergic reactions, throat swelling, and rashes that burn for days. In countries like Germany, France, and the UK, public parks and schoolyards have been closed because of these outbreaks. Firefighters in protective suits often remove their silky nests using vacuum hoses. Even after they're gone, the hairs remain toxic for years, stuck on bark, fences, and playground equipment. Doctors warn that a single contact can send someone straight to the emergency room. It's proof that even the smallest insect army can bring an entire city to a standstill. 2. Hemorrhagic caterpillar. Deep in the forests of Venezuela and Colombia lives a caterpillar that looks innocent until you touch it. The Lenomia acalis, cousin of the world's deadliest caterpillar, hides venom strong enough to destroy your blood's ability to clot. Just brushing against it can make you bleed from your gums, nose, or even internal organs. Its venom contains enzymes that break down platelets, turning minor contact into a medical emergency. Farmers and woodcutters are most at risk, since the caterpillars blend perfectly with tree bark. Victims often don't realize what happened until bruises and internal bleeding appear hours later. Hospitals keep special anti-venom developed in Brazil, and it saved many lives, but only if given fast. Scientists are now studying its venom for potential medical uses in heart treatments, showing that even the deadliest creatures can teach us something. 1. Pine processionary moth. The pine processionary moth may look like a simple forest insect, but its caterpillars are among the most feared in Europe. Found across Spain, Portugal, Italy, and southern France, these fuzzy marchers form long, snake-like lines as they move between pine trees. What makes them dangerous are the millions of toxic hairs covering their bodies. These hairs detach easily and float through the air, causing violent allergic reactions, rashes, and in serious cases, anaphylactic shock. Even worse, they can blind dogs that sniff or lick them. Every spring, authorities issue public warnings to hikers, closing entire woodland trails and playgrounds. The hairs remain toxic for months, clinging to bark, soil, and picnic tables. Local councils burn infested nests using special vacuum equipment to prevent outbreaks. Tourists are often shocked to see warning signs in pine forests reading "Danger, processionary caterpillars." And that's all for today's list of deadly crawlers and silent flyers. See you in the next one, only on Forever Green.